Sending a signal around the globe. Direct from New York City. It's Brad Blanks.
All right, Brad Blanks with Cameron Crowe. How are you, mate?
Brad, thanks for your tweets, baby.
Yes, yes, mate. I pumped it up, and if you noticed, I was also pumping it into the New York Post chief film critic.
I noticed that.
And he's a tough man.
I noticed
that.
Good
man, yeah. But I first want to say, 15 years ago, I was a befuddled, drunk Australian kid. Got off the plane.
So was I.
Yeah, yes, good. And I landed in New York City, very lonely, didn't know what to do, so I went and saw Jerry Maguire. And so I think it's about my 15-year anniversary of when all that went down. And so Jerry Maguire gave me the emotional stepping stone to take New York by storm. So I thank you for that.
Brad, look at what's happened. You own Manhattan now.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
Tom Cruise was just merely, a stop along the way.
That's right, yes.
Titanic victory.
Yeah. When I say 15 years, does it make you feel older?
It does, absolutely. It makes me feel older. But it also makes me know that that feeling of making that movie is still so fresh.
Yeah.
We had a blast making Jerry Maguire.
It was great. Now we're on to this.
And of course, it now has greater purpose than ever.
It
guided you.
You go perfect. And, now this movie, just fantastic. It's
Thanks,
we
man.
bought a zoo. Can you tell me a bit about when you were reacting to people asking you, "You're making a movie about a zoo"?
Yeah. Well, I fell in love with the book, and the book, is called "We Bought a Zoo," and we all kind of, felt that story so much that I think we forgot a little bit that if all you know about it is the title, "We Bought a Zoo," you go, "What? What is this? Did the animals talk? Are they going to do funny things? Because I'll sit this one out." But then it has Matt Damon, and then I've seen that the music is from Jónsi and Sigur Rós. I was like, what is this? And we started showing it. And as we started to show it, I think people understood that it was a different kind of movie than they expected in a good way.
Yeah, and different to the stuff you've made.
Yes,
Very
definitely.
much so. Because I was watching it, and obviously you come out of the template of your films, and they are Cameron Crowe movies, and you come into this, and a third of the way through it, I'm like going, well, this is actually not a Cameron Crowe. But then all of a sudden, you crept up on me in the cinema.
We slipped it into gear.
Yeah.
We took you for a ride.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Well, I just said, a third into it, I'm like, well, this is not a Cameron Crowe movie, but then I got a bit of you. I was like, it's like I'm in a pub and I'm having a beer with you, and you come in.
Then we had a second, a third one, and it all started to work.
And then all of a sudden, you come home with this amazing rush in this film. So it's like, I guess, to sound like I know what I'm talking about, you created tapestry.
That's very kind of way of putting it.
Oh, no, not a montage. Yeah.
I think I wanted it to be a little bit like meet the characters, feel the story, and then the story takes you a little deeper into a more of a surprising place, and maybe, if we're lucky, it wraps you up in a feeling.
Yep.
And if you lead with the feeling, you've got your emotions right out there from the very beginning, and where do you go from there? So I thought, for this one, let it creep up on you a little bit. Let the music do the same thing. And I like that it's a little different. I also didn't think it was going to be an all-audience, all-ages movie when we were making it. But it turned out that way, in a good way.
And tell me about this Jónsi character. I mean, you've known him for 10 years now.
Yes.
What's he like? Does he just come over and sit in your living room and you talk? I mean, it'd be a pretty wild conversation, wouldn't it?
He's a little bit like the Martin Short character, Jiminy Glick, I think. He's
Really?
just kind of like, he's a little bit like that, but Icelandic.
Right. That's pretty good.
And his music is so cinematic to begin with. So I like listening to Sigur Rós and his solo stuff. But you think, as a person involved in making movies, you think, I can't top what that record already is. It's already a great movie. But for some reason, I think his solo stuff started to really seep into Matt Damon's performance. We were playing it while we were making the movie. And I wrote him an email and said, Jónsi, come on, score this movie.
Really?
And the guy got on a plane from Iceland. Not an easy thing to do. Traveled to California. And he had already written the theme for the movie that begins in the first scene. And it was like dream come true.
And did he really write it on a toy kid's
He did.
keyboard?
Right. He did. And he traveled with the toy keyboard.
Right.
You think he'd
So he looks like a busker turning up at your house.
He totally looks like a busker.
Right.
And approaches his music that way, I think.
And Pearl Jam, you slipped one in there, didn't you?
I slipped a Pearl Jam in there.
Good.
Yeah, Temple of the psychedelic.
Do you reckon in 20 years' time you'll do another Pearl Jam documentary?
Maybe.
The
I
40s.
got so much footage and stuff. I keep finding stuff in boxes that we kept. I keep everything, but I kept all the stuff from Pearl Jam. So now I call my friends that worked on the movie and I go, hey, I found that poster from the first show that I was looking for. They're like, goodbye.
Well, I was at the Toronto audience when you first showed on that Saturday afternoon.
Oh, man.
And
I forgot the guitarist.
yeah, that was pretty wild.
Oh.
But the crowd was like an amphitheater.
Yeah, they helped me.
Yeah, but it was a great scene. Well, a great movie, mate.
Thanks.
And it's good to yarn with you once again. Thank you.
Brother, so good.